Hey guys, so me, Passport Bro Visuals, back with another one, and doing this video here on J Rello. I'm watching his live right now, and he is going to, or planning to go to sosua, and he's doing his music right now. He's got like a list of, I think he said 7 people, 7 bitch ass niggas that he's got to, that he's doing the diss songs to right now. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, it does look like he is trying to go for another trip and for sosua for Halloween. And this is on the precipice on when he basically lost his job last year, taking a Halloween trip, which again, I mean, it's just completely unnecessary because there's no real, it's a holiday, but it's not significant, to go on any form of vacation, you know what I'm saying? But that's what he's doing, and, like I said, really shows you, ain't really learned much, in a year's time, so, but yeah, he's doing that right now at the moment, and I just find it funny and ridiculous, so. But yeah, he's doing that live right now, so, and, so, like I say, he's in Gary. I did reach out to him. He told me that, the unemployment, it is trash out there, and I ended up looking it up, and yeah, it is pretty bad, because, like I said, I'm in the Midwest myself, in Minnesota, so I've always known about, Gary, and the shit is crazy. It's freaking, 8.8% unemployment rate out there in Gary, Indiana. So I'm like, wow, and yeah, that's really bad, But from what he said, it seemed like he's under the mindset of like, from what he was saying to me, yeah, he might as well, just take the trip. That's how he's looking at it, and he really just, basically, he really just running from his problems, and that's what's going on right there. So with that, but quick note, I'm also watching LTTV live. LTTV, he's got a live right now, and he's showing Kenya. It's like a protest, a little small protest. Protesting the Passport Bros. They want them out of Kenya and all that sort of stuff, and they want the respect. So he's showing a video of that right there. So. Which I find hilarious. So, but it definitely shows, it shows destruction of, how destructive J Rello is, but also shows the inactiveness of the Passport Bros. That's why I disagree with BMT not putting a stamp down and really trying to figure out a way to, shuffle him out of the space, you know what I'm saying? Even though he always said he was never a pastor, bro, which I knew that, but, he can't, but BMT, like you said, he's a leader, he can't really hide behind that, you know what I'm saying? As far as, he never claimed he's a pastor, bro. Now, but he was dubbed that by the, people of popular opinion. So that just says a lot about, BMT's thinking. I understand, it's a philosophy, as he say, lifestyle, but at the same time, it does show this what happens when you don't have the proper action. You have inaction, and I think that's why, J Rello, I think that's why the space is going through what it's going through. So like I said, this is just only the first. They're having this problem out there, and there's a little protests out there, in Kenya. I mean, you're gonna have that in other countries like Thailand. It's probably worst case scenario. Definitely probably having it in different parts of Africa too. Since it's in Kenya. But it just shows to show. We as black men, we have to watch how we move, and it's true that we really do move. A lot of us in Boca really do move differently than white men. We're really just two sides of the same coin. White man, he move his way, we move our way. But the problem is, like, we not looking at the flaw of how we move. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we supposed to be the masters of mystique and slick and all that sort of stuff. But this is just kind of out in the open. White boys, they've been doing this. And O'Shea, he can't really say anything because if he says something, that's hypocrisy on him because, like I say, like I've been saying, yeah, you tricking over there in Kenya, but hey, the moment they start not seeing you as a people, because you're really not, you out there in East Africa, out there in Uganda, you know what I'm saying? They're going to protest, potentially protest you. So that's what it says about, O'Shea Duke Jackson. With that whole pro-black Pan-African stance that he pushing, But that's why I think it's so interesting with that. So, yeah, with that being said, yeah, they out there protesting, so it's pretty funny. We'll see how that goes, But yeah, like I say, back to Rello, yeah, with him, he's the example of shooting yourself in your foot. And some people don't deserve a second chance, really are like that. And that's what it is for him, you know what I'm saying? And Rello, like I say, he's not, he's a person who just don't want to learn or hasn't learned, That's his problem, Because you can't sit up there and go to prison, for as long as you have. Because he said, in prison, you get the sentence. In Indiana, it's like you do half of the sentence for some reason. Should have did more, but that's what that was. But also, he lacks a lot of awareness, So, especially like I say, you filming your boss and stuff. The unemployment is 8.8% unemployment in Gary, Indiana. Potential for recession, things like that. That's the things you got to think about. And people with mindset of Rello, they not thinking about it. He's not thinking about it. So he just uses this to just kind of run, escape his problems. Although again, like I say, he is probably trying to most likely get monetized, so he can, be good and kind of be overseas and and kind of live overseas and then travel too. But he gotta have that strength of being monetized, and he can't do that based off what he's doing. So there's that. So, but yeah, he's like I say, having that type of unemployment is crazy, and him doing that type of mess that he's doing, he already knows he's got a strike against him as an ex-con. He got a strike against him as being black, and 3, since he, since the way he comes off is obvious. It's obvious that he don't have a skill, that he hasn't developed a skill at all, at all. So that's pretty obvious, especially out there, part of the Rust Belt of with Gary, Indiana. So clearly he don't have a skill, what I'm saying, dealing with that. So that's his problem. And yeah, that's why I think he's running, and it's just pretty crazy. And people gonna give him money. They're going to give him money. I know he did this little poll, and 54% said they want to see him go. I was part of the 46% that said no. But, like I said, it's just weird because it's like, it's not a significant holiday. And on top of that, the little songs he's doing, they supposed to give hints of who he got a problem with out there in the suit and who he's going to, basically beat up. Your ass going to end up in jail and, a different country, but his mindset is like, anywhere else is better, and that's crazy, and we'll see how that goes, I mean, he should wait longer to see if he gets the money, but clearly he's trying to take one more trip, before the year is out, which again is kind of silly, because you only got 3 months left, there's just no need for that, personally. At this time, like I say, that's the same thing, exact same thing how you got fired last time. Only this time you actually, filmed your boss, and that's right there. I wouldn't be surprised if that job he worked actually, put an ABB out onto other companies, warehouses and all that sort of stuff, just made them aware. I'm pretty sure that's the case. It don't matter if it's like a a cook or a dishwasher or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or warehousing. I'm pretty certain. I'm pretty certain that that information got around, and that's the type of thinking that people, black brothers, are trying to get away from. Their brothers have been complaining about and trying to get away from. And that's what he shows for himself, and it says a lot about him, and where his maturity is at, But it's sad because a lot of brothers can relate because they live in chaos. You know what I'm saying? They used to living in chaos and all that sort of stuff until they made their changes and got away from it. So that resonates with them, especially with his way of thinking. He's too old to be not thinking about the future, not making mistakes that he is making. He just too young for that, too old for that, really. And I did reach out to Pab. I saw Pab his live last night. He is in India. He can't go to Pakistan because of the fact that foreigners can't go as of right now into Pakistan. So he had to try to see if he should fly to Pakistan, or should he go to Nepal? I voted Nepal, so it looked like he said he's going to go to Nepal out there. I think he should do that, but he might take another risk for Pakistan, because like I said, he may not know the next time he go, to Pakistan, right? You know what I'm saying? So if he get the opportunity, so I understand that, but I suggested Nepal. I chose Nepal. He should go, and looked like he made that decision. So, but like I said, he on the other side of the world, so it was real late. No, it was in the morning time. Oh, it was real late when I was hearing the live and stuff, I think, because it was daytime over there. So, but yeah, he good. He don't like the street food stuff, so that's pretty interesting right there. So, which is good. I've seen the videos. That stuff is pretty nasty too. But yeah, back to Jake Rello. Yeah, it just says a lot about him. He's probably gonna make this trip. If he does, I hope he doesn't. For his sake. But I mean, 3 months is only 3 months. It's not that. I mean, you can't make frequent trips. That's on you. You gotta do what you gotta do. But brothers, you can't make your situations, worse than what they need to be. You can't be out there trying to, film your boss, trying to see about, if they're going to sign a paper for you not to get your unemployment, or trying to watch what they say when it's clearly your fault and they can see it's your fault. Which they probably deny him that anyway, simply because of, well, you're in the video saying that, hey, you abandoned the job. No call, no show for 3 days. Yeah, that's on you. That's not on the company. But that also says a lot about his thinking that they would say that. They required to say why, they fired you, but they don't have that authority. That's on them. And clearly in that video, which I'm pretty sure they mentioned it or showed it to unemployment, it shows that, hey, that's you that caused that issue to get fired and not get unemployment. That's on you, because hey, you abandoned the job essentially. And like I said, by days and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for vacation, that's null and void. All you could have did was just wait for a holiday that was like on a Monday. You know what I'm saying? That was on that was like on a Monday. Work is Monday through Wednesday, and I had the vacation days from Thursday, Friday, plus the weekend. And had that holiday for the Monday to get him to buy him the time to get back to, get back to the States, to Gary. So, I've done it like that too, I ain't go out the country yet, but I've done it like that. And that makes the most logical sense that you're only getting like 3 days for the first year. And that's, it's not really that serious. You can stretch it like that, but hey, clearly that's one of them companies that, hey, people leave. It's a high turnover rate, but also it can be very beneficial after you had won. And that's really what he could have did. Theoretically, he could still have a job now, you know. But that just says a lot about who he is and what his problems are with him. So, you know. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. Plus another live. I'll see if Pop doing something, see what he on. And I'll keep you guys posted on Rello Live. And I keep, you know like that. Bye, guys.